Hey, everybody, this is Liz from Augusta, and I have a very special guest on for today who I've been wanting to have on for a little while. And I'm going to let you introduce yourself and tell everybody where you're from, and then I'll ask questions after that.
Hey everyone, my name is Parker Vanderyacht. I'm the head of customer experience here at Copilot CRM. Yeah, here at the office up in Blaine, Washington. I'm from Linden, which is about like 20 minutes away from here. But yeah, born and raised and working at the Copilot office.
Well, I'm glad you were born and raised.
Me too. Best thing that ever happened to me.
So tell us a little bit about your upbringing, your family, your siblings.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so like I said, I grew up in Linden, pretty small town, only about like 10, 15,000 people. Um, Grew up, with one sibling, older sister. She is a teacher at a Christian school down in Bellingham, elementary school teacher there. And yeah, I went through, high school up in Linden, very focused on like, music. I was a big part of band, played the saxophone in band and picked up the guitar, really liked, doing music but also really like kind of more like the science and math studies. So I was really torn between going to college for I had like three big things I really liked: music, marine biology, and aerospace engineering. And I was really torn between which
Wow.
ones I wanted to pursue. And I decided that I wanted to just not go to college and instead work. So I got hired at my church that I attend, and I was a tech assistant, was doing soundboard on Sundays, big part of the worship team, doing different events there throughout the week, and then just doing music on the side. And then I was working at the church for about like 2.5 years, and then I saw the Copilot opening, and Steven, our product manager behind me, I worked at the church with him for years, and was talking with him about this position. He was like, "Oh yeah, you'd be great for it." And so, yeah, talked to Mike, and then I made the switch because I instantly fell in love with the culture here and thought it was a really good thing that we're building up. So yeah, I made that decision about almost 2 years ago now. It's been awesome.
Incredible. So something crazy about me meeting you is I met you, you worked here. I work for Augusta. I work here at the command center, and our both of our companies are here in the same building, which is really cool. And
Yep.
I met you, and then we went on an offsite team meeting, and your wife came, and there she was, this person I knew from the time she was a baby till probably 2, 3, 4, 5 years old. My daughter took piano lessons from her mother. And then I find out that her mother, who I knew for 10 years, was the mother in law of you. Nuts. Small world.
Oh, crazy. I love that's a good part about like growing up in a really small county is like things like that just happen all the time. I think it's the most amazing thing ever. It's just so cool to see like all the links between people. So
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. So Copilot has changed a ton since you came along. And how
Yeah.
how long had it been in business before you came?
Yeah, so Copilot launched to the public in February of 2023, and I joined in middle of July 2023. I was the third employee because it was Mike, and then I believe it was Steven was the first hire, and then Christian, our sales rep, and then it was me. So then we kind of split into our roles of product, sales, and support, and then we just kind of been expanding from there. But yeah, Copilot has changed a lot in many ways since I've joined. I know like my team has gotten a lot bigger. Um, the user base has gotten a lot bigger. I remember, I think I joined when we had just like 100 or so people. And now
Amazing.
it's grown exponentially since that, which is awesome. Super cool to see. We've had um, a lot of great talent join the team, which is huge, and, we've had a lot of great software improvements as well. So, yeah, it's been changing a lot, and I love that because 'cause we're just constantly improving. It's the benefit of a startup with no outside investors, is we have the complete freedom to move however fast we want and in whatever direction we want. So, we have an edge in the in the industry that not a lot of people have. Companies that have a lot of investors, they have a lot of stakeholders. They have to maximize for profitability and what looks good on the outside. But Copilot, we can really decide, what is a priority for people who run home service businesses? What would they benefit from? And so we can innovate features that other companies, they see it as, this might not be super profitable for us, but we think what is super profitable for our customers. And so being able to have that freedom to change however we want, however fast we want, it's huge, and I'm all for it.
Yeah, and the same here. You and I have a unique opportunity, and that is that I was also the third employee of Augusta. And we also had, I think we had 50 customers when I started. And so we've seen these two companies as a startup from their very inception and the very beginning of whatever came out of Mike's brain. And
Yeah, yeah,
and so it has been a wild ride so far. And when you're just starting a business, there's a ton of bumps. It's not like somebody gave you a roadmap and said, this is how you grow Copilot, and this is what's going to
yep.
happen. These are the 5 stages of growth in Copilot. And we were not given that. So, how has your role changed? What was your position when you started, and what is it now?
Yeah, my role pretty much has stayed somewhat the same consistently throughout the years. When I joined, it was um, my task was just going through, learning as much information as possible from the original Copilot University, which Stephen recorded, and taking a look at help articles. And then I would just spend my day completely on the support ticketing system that we have. When anyone opens up a chat, sending a response back, and we only had chat when I was here. So chat was open when I got in and it closed when I got out. And response times were probably about half an hour to an hour, just because I was the only one on chats. For a portion, I had Steven with me doing those, but he moved more into full time product. So when I was just the only one on chats, it was just kind of that people, got a response whenever they got a response. But then over the months, as we started growing, I was able to get another support agent, Errol. He was super awesome. Still with us today. Very, very knowledgeable, smart dude. He helps a lot with the importing for new users. But that was the first time ever in my life where I became a manager of an employee.
Yes.
And I always think about it how, I'm in a very unique opportunity because I am now leading a team of 3 other people, but I have never, and this is my first time doing it. I've never been in a manager position, which is scary, but it's super awesome as well. Like my last job, just I worked soundboard and
Hmm.
recording a studio for my church for a couple years. Now all of a sudden, I'm working in a lawn care company, managing people who take support calls and support chats every day. Very crazy. So
Yes.
I'm learning it with you know our one of our mantras, here at Copilot is we're building the plane as we're flying it. With the startup, we
Wow.
need to do a lot of stuff um, live in production. We need to release something and refine it. We need to keep going because we need to keep momentum and always keep moving. And it's the same with the support team. Um, so like hiring Errol, now learning like, okay, how do I manage a person effectively, and everything, getting more people on board. And as we've gotten more employees on the support team, we've been able to add support Zoom calls, support phone calls, and we're always constantly trying to innovate with support as well, not just the CRM, but how can we innovate customer support, customer service to allow people to get answers they want quicker and to get better answers. Because sometimes, it's inevitable when you have humans on the other end of the screen. We might give a wrong answer because we maybe misremember something correctly. How can we mitigate that? How can we make that less frequent? Um, and yeah, just speeding up processes. It's been really interesting. So mostly my goal in the day, I try to stay out of responding to individual members chats. I always have a personality where I like to just, take something. If you want to do it right, do it yourself. And so I'm like,
Hmm.
I always try to hop in and not micromanage, but sometimes I'll take chats from some of our
Yep.
support agents and be like, I want to handle this one. I know this guy. We've been talking for years on this. Um, but I really need to, like, let that go and look at more like the bird's eye view of
Mhm.
customer service in Copilot. What does it look like? And then how can I use, like, my, uh, delegation experience for managing people? How can I delegate our support agents to execute tasks effectively instead of being boots on the ground myself? So, that's what I've been kinda working towards as Copilot grows.
You said you didn't have any formal education like college. So, what kind of skills did you bring to Copilot when you started?
Yeah, no, I didn't go to college, so I didn't have really any degrees under my belt, but I think really the most important thing in customer service is not anything that you can get from a degree. It
Mhm,
is, do you have the heart to help people
mhm,
and make sure that people feel taken care of? If you have those 2 things, I feel like you can handle pretty much anything
mhm,
because really our job as customer support is to um, not necessarily be the middleman, but we speak on behalf of the customers to the rest of the Copilot team. So we embody the issues that our customers bring to the table, and we fight for their issues to the rest of the team. Not that the rest of the team doesn't care, but our job is to make sure that we understand the issue, we care about the issue, we want to see it resolved, and then we do everything in our power to package it up as easily for other teams to take it and fix it. So I think if you truly care about the issues that your customers are experiencing and you want to see it resolved, I feel like that's not something college can teach you. I feel
mhm,
like that's just, a gift that you're born with and you should, use it in a customer service role. And if you have it, you have it. Um, but yeah, so I think I love talking with our members. I love hearing the wins, and
mhm,
I very care much about hearing the losses as well, and I love seeing how I can use my position at Copilot to,
mhm,
um, mitigate the amount of losses that Copilot may be a factor in for their business. If they're experiencing a bug, that is really hindering their business, I wanna be able to take everything that I have in my position and be able to, get it resolved as soon as possible or see how I can go above and beyond for people to really make sure that they feel like they matter. Because that's one of the things that Copilot that we hear time and time again is like other businesses, like they if I go to XYZ business for a CRM, they'll give me the software, but they won't help me set it up.
mhm,
They barely give me any, uh, support calls or they seem very disconnected on their chats. And they just push me to go read help articles myself. With Copilot, I really want to make sure that not only are we offering a software, but we're also offering the expertise that Mike brings to the
mhm,
table as well.
mhm,
And part of that is the caring for the businesses in the industry and making sure that not only do they have a good software, but make sure that they're successful as well. Because not all success for these home service businesses will come out of just buying a CRM, right? We can give you
mhm,
Copilot, amazing, but part of it's on you to execute it. And so, how can we give you knowledge on how to execute it from what we see is a good way? So, it's like we can
mhm,
provide you with automation capability and the ability to mass market via email and text messages in Copilot. But if you're not sending out the right stuff, it's not going to be effective anyways.
mhm,
So, trying to see how we can bridge that gap between being not necessarily like business advice, but
mhm.
kind of trying to take more than just software support and being just home service business support.
What's the exact title of what you are right now?
Yeah, I'm head of customer experience, which is kind of branching over 2 different departments inside of
Okay.
Copilot. We've got the customer support side, which is air traffic control, which is what we call our support team. They're the chat widget, phone calls, Zoom support calls, help articles, Copilot University. That's customer support, and that's what I like to think of as reactive.
Mhm,
Members come to us with issues, and we respond. And then, I also oversee our customer success department, which is, proactive, where it's like, I don't want a member to have to reach out to me first for this
mhm,
department. I want to be proactive and reach out to these people before they even know they have an issue or just to check in and make sure that they're doing okay. So I kind of like to make sure that that whole, um journey for a customer from when they sign up is seamless. So like that transition from Christian, from sales to me, I want to make sure that we are being proactive in reaching out like, hey, we see you're new. Give us your CSV file and let's help you import your customers.
Mhm.
Everything that we can, like, hey, join this Zoom call with Mike Andes for onboarding, or like Mike recorded this video. I want you to have it and watch it to see how you can maximize Copilot. So yeah, I manage both like the reactive side of people reaching out to us and also trying to find good ways for us to proactively reach out to members.
That's fantastic. And I asked that because Lindsay is the operations manager for Copilot, and she is the one that puts you in the role, I believe, that you're in now. What do you think it is about you that she thought you could fulfill that role?
One of the things that I always try to do is every way that I can try to exceed expectations. So it's like um, going above and beyond for people is super important, especially in a customer service aspect. And I feel like um, it's a really good skill to have, especially in a managerial position, of understanding kind of that psychology with customers,
Mhm.
of how can you not only pacify them if they're upset or frustrated, but also go so far where you take them from being frustrated to now where they're an advocate for you, like,
Mhm.
where you give them such a good experience that now they feel like they have to go and tell other people just how awesome their experience was. Um, I think, that's just one of the things. I don't think I deserve anything, but I'm so grateful that both just being hired by Mike when I didn't have a degree or previous experience in the industry, I
Mhm.
think that was such a miracle. Um, I totally think it was a God move for sure.
Mhm.
I think, um, that was huge. And I think the same thing for Lindsay on trusting me that even though I don't have the degree, even though they could probably go out and hire someone that has had 10 plus years of experience in this role,
Mhm.
um, deciding, let's give this guy a shot because, maybe it is because I've gone above and beyond for customers and I want to try to instill that in my support agents as well, which I'm super blessed with the support agents we have. They already came with that, so I don't even have
Mhm.
to try to teach that to them. They already sometimes they even do it better than me. But, yeah, I think, um, just stay when someone asks you to do something, do more. When they ask you to stay for X amount of time, stay a little bit longer to make sure that things are done. I think, uh, coming in with that mindset of, no matter what the requirement is, make sure you see it out till the customer feels satisfied. I feel like that kind of thing maybe is what she saw and wanted to help pursue that. But whatever she saw, I'm super grateful because I've had
Mhm.
so much personal growth, so much, um, business experience growth, all of it. It's been super great for me, and I'm super thankful that she did take that chance on me.
When she asked you to take a higher role and become a leader, did you think in your mind, "Oh, I need to get this skill or I need to do that"? Were there any, podcasts, books you read, audibles you listened to, anything to give you that support and help you grow in that role?
Yeah, one of the big things Mike actually gave me this book, and I didn't know I was doing this interview today, but I brought this in yesterday because I don't know why I wanted to start keeping my books here, but, Mike gave me this book,
Yes.
Customer Success, and
Yes.
I'm starting to go through it a second time, but I read through that, because I feel like customer support was something that over my I've been head of customer experience now probably for like 6 to 8 months. So for the first year and a half, I've been just solely in customer support. I feel like, okay, after about a year and a half, I've got that kind of stuff down a little bit, but
Mhm.
customer success and the proactive stuff is just a whole new world for me. So having that book has been super useful. It's, uh, customer success, that book. And then also Mike will just DM me a bunch of Alex and Layla Hormozy videos.
Mhm.
Um, Layla Hormozy, I tend to go to her more than just the,
Mhm.
Alex, because I feel like Alex is more like the sales and not specifically for me, but I feel like, Layla has such great insight into, um, the psychology of dealing with customers that I
Mhm.
find super useful. Um, one thing that I always keep in the back of my mind is, she always likes to call it the angry boat
Yes.
of when a customer is frustrated, they are in a little boat, a little canoe
Mhm.
of them
Mhm.
being angry, and the only way that you can satisfy the customer's requests or pacify them or turn them into a promoter for your brand is by jumping into that boat with them and being angry with them. Like,
Mhm.
me as a customer service agent, I need to be more angry that they are experiencing an issue than they are angry about experiencing that issue, to the point where they should be calming me down because I am getting way too fired up, and that is the most effective, um, tactic, I guess, is what you'd call it. It's not like tactic, but, that's definitely, um, a great way to visualize it of, like, if you're not doing that, you're not executing your role of customer service to its
Mhm.
fullest potential because, um, yeah, just the understanding of how customers think about things that they purchase and, brands that they deal with, companies that they deal with, understanding that, I feel like Layla has a lot of great insights on a lot of her videos. So those are I try to watch. Customer success book is has been huge for customer success side of things. And honestly, I need to get into more podcasts and stuff because like on my drives to work, I need to be more productive. I need
Mhm.
to listen through more podcasts and stuff to get me in that mindset. But those are the two things that have been super
Mhm.
helpful for me.
When you came into this role, you're automatically a leader of employees. And here we get together with our employees and do what we call one on ones and go over their progress. Was that hard to do when some of them are actually your peers age wise? And now you're supposed to give them critique on their job and come into kind of another level of relationship with them. And that can be challenging because even Mike and I are family. So people that you know outside of work and now on a work level, you're in charge of them. How has that been for you? Because that and a lot of people that will watch this have that same experience.
Yeah, that has definitely been not as much anymore because I don't really think about it that way anymore, but when starting, I started here when I was 20 because I just turned 22 last week. So I've been here in my early 20s, and I believe I am the youngest or second youngest on staff here, um, at least in the Copilot division. Not
Mhm.
entirely sure about command center, but yeah, walking in and being the youngest, um, all my support agents are older than me,
Mhm.
and a lot of our members, most of them are older than me. So
Mhm.
it has been very much of kind of like an imposter syndrome kind of thing
Yes.
where I yeah, in terms of dealing with members, if a member is, frustrated or even if they're not frustrated and they just have questions about business because maybe they're in a really sticky position, they don't really know what to do, they don't have a lot of money in the bank right now, and they have questions, and they want to know how Copilot can help get their business out of the red, and I'm a 20-year-old who's never worked in lawn care before. How
Mhm.
am I supposed to give insight to that? And that was really tough for me in the beginning. Um, but, um, I've over the years, like, learned, like, while I don't have um, the home service business expertise like Mike can give insight. I can't give insight like Mike all the time on that, but I can confidently say I'm one of the most knowledgeable people about the Copilot CRM software
Mhm.
specifically. So, even though I might not have the insight to the actual business and real world scenario, I do know all of the ins and outs of Copilot. So that is something that I can give them, that is real and not something that I should feel like is an imposter there. Um,
Yes.
so I've realized that where it's like, yeah, and I'm always upfront with people, like, I might not know the exact use case or your exact business situation, but you did come to the right person for
Mhm.
Copilot technical support questions and how does it work and what's happening with this. So that is something I can give them. So that's what I've more realized over the years. But in terms of like managing my employees and our support agents, that one has been, um, interesting. I just don't think about it anymore, but I did think
Mhm.
about it a lot of like, okay, this person may be like 5 or 6 years older than me. I'm like, they've got a lot more experience in life because they've
Yes.
lived longer, like, and then now I need to tell them like, "Hey, you're not doing this right," or "You need to
Mhm.
change things up this way," or, deliver hard news or stuff like that. It is very, um it's a very tough thing to navigate. I don't think I have the, the remedy or the epic answer to how you deal with
Mhm.
this for, like, anyone who's watching that's in the same role, but, like, ultimately, it is, you know, business is business, and it's a tough question to answer because I don't think there's a right way, if someone's struggling with it, I don't think there's a right way or wrong. There's probably some wrong ways, but not necessarily a right answer for it. Um, but yeah, ultimately, like, it is business, and it doesn't
Mhm.
matter about your age. Me in my position, I have different experiences working at Copilot than my support agents have working at Copilot.
True.
I know things that they don't know, and they know things that I don't know.
Mhm.
But yeah, I know things necessarily that they don't, and it's not an age thing that I'm coming to them about. It is a just because I am in this position, I know something that you don't, and it's not. Never is it a thing about like power,
Mhm.
ever, and that's not how you should think about it. It is a just think about different experiences. It's not a me talking to my employee. It is me talking to my employee, and I should
Mhm.
really treat it as me talking to my employee.
Mhm.
I should really put them way more above me, and I have so much respect for my support agents, and I think that's something that we all have on lock is, we don't necessarily ever, like, talk to each other like there is a superior and an inferior, but
Mhm.
much rather we are in different roles, which means we each have different information. So let's come together and let's share all the information we have from our different perspectives and see how we can move forward. So I would say, yeah, that's been the biggest thing is just realizing not about age. It's just different roles have different experiences. And so let's not focus on who is um, above one another, but let's all get on the same level and let's just share common experiences.
How many members are there in Copilot now?
How many like customer members?
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, Currently, I believe there is like 915
Incredible.
in subscribed to like a starter pro or enterprise. We've got thousands that are on the trial free version.
Incredible. And how many team members are there at Copilot?
I would say across all departments, I would say that there's around between 30 to 50. In my specific department, there's 4 because I've got my 3 support agents and then me in the customer um, eh, support and success departments. But yeah, there's a lot of engineering and product talent, and that's increasing by the day. Like we're getting new designers, we're getting new engineers, um, and yeah, we're rapidly expanding both on the member side of things and on the staff side of things as well. It's been an explosion in both areas, and it's
Yes.
super awesome.
Yeah, it's been phenomenal to watch. So you went through bug hell. And so it's also just starting out. It's not like it was a company that's been established for years and then there's a few major bugs that you're dealing with. We're trying to build the software, then it's not working, parts aren't working. We're trying to figure it out, and the customers are angry, and the guys can't do their routes and dispatch, and they can't see things on their app, and the app's not fully developed, and the routes aren't fully developed, the dispatch. And so there were so many things that we dealt with throughout bug hell. And what was that like for you to go through that, knowing that you were at the beginnings of a company? And so you're trying to be gracious to your company, and yet
Yeah.
things are falling apart, and you're trying to be a source of coaching to the customer and
Yep.
letting them know it's gonna get better, and trying to keep customers on. What was your verbiage to them, and how did you handle that?
Yeah, so for me personally, going through that, I joined in, let's say, yeah, I joined in July of 2023. Bug Hell really started in January of 2024, is when we noticed everything. We still had issues before then, but
Mhm.
we had about tripled our user base in 1 month,
Right. Mhm.
which
Wow.
really is crazy, and it also revealed a whole bunch more issues because now we
Right.
have 3 times the amount of people going through all the buttons and trying
Mhm.
different things in different scenarios and revealing all the issues. So
Mhm.
that's when we started getting a lot more bug reports. In so that's in 2024 now, January is when that started. Throughout December, January, and February, I started, getting a lot more hit with my Crohn's disease. So I've got Crohn's disease, which is like an intestine, gastrointestinal issue, and I had it really bad to the point where I had to get surgery in February.
Mhm.
And I was, at home. I had, like, an IV with me for
Mhm.
about a month and a half or so, coming into work with that thing, but I was, out, had surgery, had to stay home for a lot of it, and I actually bought a MacBook that I used in the hospital, and I would have meetings with Lindsay. I would pop in my AirPods. I would meet, uh, with the team, and I would have, like, calls with support agents in the hospital bed,
Mhm.
and I would send messages to members, 'cause ultimately, like, when I was in the hospital, sometimes I was like, I can't really sleep," so I would just, like, open up my laptop, and I would just work on, like, late night messages to members that had,
Mhm.
like, bug tickets coming through. So for me, I had a really wild experience because a lot of it I had to do working from home, working from the hospital, and then coming back and trying to play catch up on a lot of things I missed. So really, like, the MVPs of Bug Hell, especially for those early days, are the support agents. Um, and a lot of the Yeah, for members, the member customer aspect of it, um, that was a really, really tough one to navigate because I remember even, April, like, we had a lot of issues with, like, automations and emails and text messages going out. Um, it is a very awkward position to be a customer service agent because I'm not working on the code, so
Exactly. You
I
have
don't
no
have any
power.
power in that. But I speak on behalf of the company to these members, and so, um, yeah, the it was very wild, and honestly, I am surprised that all of our support agents have stayed with Copilot
No
throughout the
kidding.
entirety of Bug Hell. They have seen through the entire thing. All of our support agents have been here for over a year. They've been
Amazing.
here from the entirety of Bug Hell. So, hats off to them. They're the real MVPs for, like, literally some of one of them, Mark, he got hired in March, um, when all that started going down. So he was learning about Copilot and trying to understand the software while everything started going
Mhm.
wrong. And so now he's just finally getting to enjoy some of the fruits of the labor
Mhm.
of we now have feature releases. Modern Estimates was the first feature release that he ever experienced.
Hmm.
And so yeah, it's crazy from a support agent perspective how we all have to just constantly for over a year, all hands on deck, every day, support team, like, but it really developed a lot of camaraderie between all of us support agents because it has all gone to crap every day, and, like, we're just in the trenches all
Yes,
the time together. It's just us against the world,
it
and
is.
so we developed pretty close, relationships, between each other, being able to, um, just, communicate with each other during these hard times. Because I mean, there's a lot of, like, overwhelmingness, for all of us because, like, we're dealing with 20 upset people or whatever,
Mhm.
and so, um, we're all frustrated, we're all trying to talk to each other, but we've worked it out, and I think that really honestly was great because it has set a great foundation for us to be able to have hard conversations with each other, not take things personally, be able to correct each other, like, whether it be me correcting them or them correcting me, like, being able to go through that all together, um, it just, yeah, it kinda reinforces the fact that, like, there's no one person is above another. Like, if this person is doing this thing, like, this person's able to take support calls, this person doesn't take support calls. If I'm the manager and I oversee them, it doesn't matter. Like, we're all getting yelled at by customers. We're
Mhm.
all trying to help people as much as possible. Like, we're in it together. And so I think, honestly, I think that's what separates Copilot from all the other support teams from other CRMs. I truly feel like, um, our support team is so tight knit and we care for each other so much. I feel like you don't really get that with other CRMs, and that's one of the things that people consistently have talked to us about over the years is people saying like, after, talking with your support team for like 3 days, I'm switching softwares because I
Wow.
know, like, that is way more useful than whatever feature XYZ software may be offering right now. Maybe
Mhm.
Copilot doesn't have it, but you guys have people that want to see me win, and you have people that are fighting for me every day, and I can open up a chat within 10 minutes, get someone responding, and have them be completely devoted to my situation and want to see me win. That's Yeah, I think that's what separates Copilot support team for the rest, and I feel like Bug Hell really shaped us to be that way.
What advantages do you think there are to be a member of Augusta Nation and a part of the franchise in regards to Copilot? Because the franchise members are also customers of Copilot. So, what would be an advantage of being a franchisee? Are there more benefits that they receive in some way?
Yeah, we've had people speculate it. I know in some of, like, our Facebook group or something, I know people have reached out being like, what does Augusta get that we don't get?" And honestly, it's not a lot.
Mhm.
Um, w the only thing that Augusta gets is, something that we haven't released to the public yet, which is a WhatsApp number that they can reach out to ATC, our support team.
Mm,
They have a
mhm,
WhatsApp number that they can, message to reach ATC. But it's not really a huge advantage because everyone gets the chat widget, everyone gets our support email, and
mhm.
everyone can reach out to us via Facebook Messenger even. It goes right to ATC, and all of that has our like, goes into our same inbox with the same response time. So they just get another method to reach out to ATC, which is just more useful for them because they use WhatsApp a lot more, than maybe um, a non-Augusta member does. So that's something that they get. But really, they get pretty much, the same thing that everyone, else gets, with Copilot. We try not to, play favorites, as much as possible, um, even though, like, command center is right here and we have, such a tight-knit relationship with Augusta. um, we really we try not to, offer anything exclusively in terms of the software to Augusta. Um yeah, at least at this point right now, I can't
Mhm,
think of anything, that would be a huge selling point,
mhm.
to join with Augusta. Basically, everyone who signs up with Copilot gets the same treatment, like, they get the same level and care of support, they get the same features, yeah.
If anything, they have received more support because of Augusta Nation, because we are able to work with Augusta Nation. Some of those people have multiple businesses, and to find out their challenges and solve their problems because we work so closely with them, it makes Copilot more valuable to all business owners from what I've seen.
Absolutely, yeah, I guess you could say it's the benefit of being a, Augusta franchise inside of Copilot is, like, we have, yeah, such a close relationship, between Copilot and Augusta and the franchisees, and knowing that, like, we share a lot of the same system processes with, like, the opinions that we have on, like, how estimate follow-ups should be done and how, different, business decisions should be done. Like a lot of Copilot's beliefs on how things should be done in a home service business perspective align a lot with, Augusta's, and being able to have that, um, is super beneficial so that whenever, a challenge arises that Augusta is experiencing, well, we have 100 between 100 and 150 franchises now, right?
Yeah,
I don't remember what
175.
175, wow. Dang, that's getting up there. Well, with 175 businesses that are sharing the same model, we get a lot of insight. Just like when Copilot, uh, 3x'd user base, we
Mhm,
found a lot more information because we had more hands on the software.
mhm,
Same thing for Augusta. The more franchises there are, the more, things get revealed that need
mhm,
to be addressed, and which we can take that insight to Copilot as well. That while that's a benefit for Augusta, when we implement it in the software, we don't just implement it for Augusta, we implement it for everyone. So, yeah, it is a benefit for Augusta, but that benefit is also shared with everyone. So, um, yeah, it's a win-win for everyone.
mhm. As we wrap up today, I'd like the people to know and get a bigger picture of you as a person. And you have other gifts and talents that you bring to the table. And there's something that you do every year in our town at our big country, if you call it country, our big city fair. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so I, um, am very big into audio engineering and sound and music. Me and my dad have a sound company that we do. He does it full time now. He was just switched to that this year, which is super awesome being able to take that full time. But we do a lot of sound. Um, System running for a whole bunch of different events, and we do that for the fair, and we're able to work with a whole bunch of awesome artists that come out. I know, like, this year, like, we have ZZ Top coming out, which is gonna be super awesome, and some really cool country artists and Christian artists. So, yeah, we get to run sound for the, Northwest Washington Fair up here in Whatcom County. Um, super awesome gig. Every August, I take 10 days off of Copilot here, and we live in a trailer out in the fairgrounds, and we run sound there, every day. And, yeah,
And you're an
recently
announcer, aren't you?
I do some announcements for different things. My dad will be doing it a lot more for the large stage this year. But yeah, I help run around in my little go-kart and do the sound system for all the different animal barns and everything. And then recently, like this year, we just got, uh, picked up by the fair. Aiden and I, have a band. Aiden's one of the, product, people over here at Copilot. We have a band, and we're gonna be playing on one of the stages every night, so,
Nice.
that's super fun. So, yeah, I do a lot of music stuff on the side, and the fair is a really awesome thing every year that I get to do.
And do you sing as well?
I do sing, unfortunately. I do, yeah. I'd like to just stay with guitar, but someone has to sing. Um, yeah, I do vocals and guitar, and then Aiden does, another guitar as well. So, um, super awesome. We've been doing that a lot more recently outside of work, releasing new songs and new music videos, and it's been a blast.
I bet. That's awesome. At our summit this past year, you got thrown in at the last minute to do something for us. What was that?
Yeah, I got to be the, day 3 MC for BlueCollar Summit this year, which was super awesome. I knew I was going to be at the Copilot booth and talk about Copilot, but I also got to announce the speakers throughout the days alongside Lee Park, sales from Augusta there. It was such a blast. I love doing MC stuff. Um, like, if anyone who's watching who's a member of Copilot knows, like, I love doing on Fridays, I have like a webinar that I do, and I
Mhm.
used to do daily support live streams, and I just love, doing that on, like, a mass scale. So, like, emceeing was
Yeah.
super fun this last year.
Yeah. So as we wrap up, do you have any words of encouragement that you could give to young people going into huge companies like this that are just getting started or having a look at life and not having any idea where it's going to go and then move into a role that maybe you never thought possible or you weren't prepared for, never had any idea? What would you say to encourage them?
Yeah, I would say, and you can take it from me because I am a person who's very analytical, likes to, plan everything out before it happens. Um, you cannot do that with life, no
No.
matter how hard you try
Mhm.
to put it into your own plan and form your own path. You'll always get sidetracked, or something amazing will come out of nowhere that you never expected. Um, for young people that are going into a role like this, um, I would say never. count yourself out based on previous experience.
Hmm.
It is way less about what you have achieved in the past. It is way more about what kind of person you're trying to be and what you're trying to work towards and how confident you are in yourself in doing that.
Mhm.
If people notice, if people look at you and they see that you are working towards something awesome, they will want to support you.
Mhm.
And so, it does not matter what if you went to college, if you did not go to college, it doesn't matter if you've worked in a previous role like this before,
Mhm.
always give it a shot. I It was definitely a miracle that I got to get hired here, and I'm super gracious that Mike took that chance on me, and it would not have happened if I didn't decide to submit my resume and come in for an interview anyways, even though I necessarily didn't meet all the requirements.
Mhm.
People will notice that in you. So yeah, it doesn't matter what you've done or what you haven't done. It truly matters if people can see the drive and the passion that you have for what you do.
One final question, what's it like working for Mike Andes?
It's awesome. I was just thinking that today. I was watching through every once in a while I go to Facebook and watch some of his posts and stuff, and I see a lot of good comments, a lot of negative or critical comments, but yeah, it's been amazing. It is interesting the perception that people have watching someone online and never meeting them in person.
Mhm.
Um, because a lot of the comments I'll see on YouTube is like, "Oh, like, maybe, like, you hold yourself to be so high and you're not treating these people." I could tell you that Mike is one of the most humble people that I've ever met,
Mhm.
and he is such an inspiration for me personally to see, um, someone who can be so successful, have that drive, but also have a great balance of work and life and care for his employees and the franchisees inside of Augusta. It is whenever a franchisee is experiencing anything, he takes it on himself
Mhm.
5 times more than I can imagine. It's crazy. So I would say it has been an absolute game changer working for Mike because, um, it it definitely restores your faith in humanity,
Mhm.
realizing it is 100% possible that you can have this much success and this much drive and this much passion and be humble and very generous and, um, and have so much care for others. I mean, people see it all the time that celebrities look the part, but then in real life, they're not that way, and they're
Mhm.
actually mean. And it's very nice and refreshing to see someone that is both on screen cares and both off screen cares. So yeah, I would say it's been huge to work for Mike. It's been so awesome.
Well, I appreciate your time. I know you're very busy and sought after, and I was reluctant to ask you this week because Lindsay's gone, but I knew everything you had to say would really help a lot of other people. And so I just want to say thank you, and I'll just let you go.
Of course, thanks for having me on, Liz.
Have a great day.